By the way, I realized while editing this video, just a quick, thing to say. When I start speaking about child dedication, which comes way later, something that some churches do and something my church does, I do accidentally call it child baptism while I'm just in the moment and going. So when you do hear me say child baptism instead of child baptism, I mean child dedication instead of child baptism. Bless and peace. Watch the rest of the video. Thanks. Hey Bright Lights, what you saying? Obviously it's your boy Life with Brighty, Brighty.co, Brighty on the cam, call me whatever you like, but I'm out here with another webisode, and today I'm going to be talking about, obviously the title says, I'm christened, does that make me a Christian? And before I answer that question, we've just got to ask ourselves, alright, what is a Christian? And basically a Christian is somebody who accepts Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior and acknowledges the resurrection of Jesus Christ and lives by, the commandments of the Bible. So that is what a Christian is. So if you do these things and believe these things and follow them, then yeah, you're a Christian. Yeah, so yeah, that's a Christian. However, being, christened when you're a baby, when you're 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 months old, that on its own, it doesn't make you a Christian. In fact, it's not even in the Bible, it's not biblical. When we look at baptism, obviously we get baptism from, Jesus, Jesus got baptized. That's why we get baptized. And when you look at Jesus' baptism, Jesus got baptized when he was in a time when he could make the decision for himself that, wow, okay, I want to show my inward commitment through, an outward expression, baptism. And baptism is supposed to represent the old you going and dying, and the new you rising up and going towards your God-given destiny 3000%. That's what it represents. And when we look at Jesus' baptism, we see that first of all he was in a mindset when he could make that personal decision by yourself, because salvation is personal. Your relationship with God is one-on-one, and everything you do for God and in your relationship is got to be done by you. You've got to consent to that. And that's why, today when we get baptized, it's something that you've got to make that decision yourself. So, like, that's the whole idea of baptism. It's personal to your relationship with Jesus. And, that's why, christenings and child baptism, they don't count as a replacement for that, because that's not necessarily a personal thing. When you're at a time in your life when you can decide and say, okay, I want to follow Jesus, I know what baptism means, that's when baptism is something that really counts, because you've wanted to do that yourself. But when you're 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 months old, you really have all the information needed. You really understand everything about baptism to decide that that's what you want to do. And we just gotta remember that the key is your relationship with Jesus and God is it's personal. And it's one of those things where your father, your mother, your great granddad, your great grandma, your godmother, your godfather, they can't make that decision for you. And it's something you've got to make by yourself. So christenings, child baptism, and sprinkling water on your head and calling it baptism, it just doesn't count. And when you're a Christian and you believe in the spiritual, you know that when you do these physical things for people and nothing's happening in the spiritual, nothing's really happening at all, and what you're doing doesn't matter. So, making somebody go through a baptism when they're a child and they don't understand anything, it's just a physical thing happening, but spiritually nothing's happening. And that's where it matters. So that's why, I'd rather opt for what some churches do. My church does this itself. It's called a child baptism, where the parents will, bring the child in, the newborn, and people will pray over the child, words will be spoken over the child's life. And it's just them publicly declaring how they're going to raise the child in a good Christian way, and dedicating that child's life for God. And I think that's better, because that lets the child decide when they're old enough whether they want to follow Jesus or not, whether they want to get baptized or not. And I feel like that's a better way of doing it than covering the baptism as just something that can be sprinkled on your head, when it's something so much deeper than that. So to call baptism just a sprinkling off the head, or just a christening or a child baptism, it shortchanges what baptism fully represents and means. So in short, does being christened make me a Christian? No, it does not. But if you do want to be a Christian, all it takes is just declaring Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and then from then on living the Christian life and just going for Jesus with everything you've got. Grace and peace, fam. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe and stay tuned. Thank you.